My kids' daycare told me to pack their lunches, and I said, bet. So this week I took them some Jamaican Thai basil fried rice. It was smoky. This is probably one of the best things that I have made to date. I mean, absolutely incredible. As always, everything is going to be listed in the description below, and let's get straight into it. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome and what advice would you give to your younger self? So those are the two themes that's going to be occurring throughout the video. Let's get into it. So I seasoned up my chicken. I washed it. I don't know what this chicken breast is called. It's not breast. It's like something. It's much cheaper than chicken breast. Everything is like so high these days. So I cleaned it. I went in with my seasoning. I went in with my homemade jerk seasoning. The jerk seasoning recipe is listed on my YouTube channel. And once that was done, I gave that a good mix, and I added about half a tablespoon of browning. You can get the browning from like almost any store, or if you can find it, check Amazon. Amazon always has everything. So once I give that a good mix, for best result, I would say leave it 24 to 48 hours so that everything can just be seasoned really well. When I was doing this, I didn't have a lot of time, so I only did a few hours, but that's okay. The second thing that made this jerk Thai fried rice really unique is instead of doing it in a wok, I did it in a cast iron. Oh my goodness, game changer. So here's what the season looked like. Here's what the fish looked like when it was seasoned. I made sure my cast iron was really, really hot because I wanted a good sear. Once that was really hot, I added my chicken one at a time, and then I let that sear a few minutes, and then I let it cook. These chicken can be really tricky because they're really big, and if you are not careful, some parts will be done and other parts will be raw. So what I typically like to do is finish it off in the air fryer. So sear for like maybe 3 minutes on both sides, and just reduce the heat to medium low to get like a really juicy, moist chicken. And here's what it looks like when I was flipping it around. That sear was just beautiful. In some parts of the video it looks burned, but trust me, it wasn't. It was just a jerk. And here is what it looked like. I mean, it was just dripping in like seasoning, goodness, you name it. When I picked up one chicken after the other, it was just absolutely incredible. All the flavors really just came together so well. And then let's get into the first question. If you had to give yourself an advice when you were younger, what would you tell yourself? Or if you had if you could change one thing in the past, what would you change? I want to answer the second question. I don't think I would change anything, right? I feel like everything I have gone through and experienced and learned in life has led me to where I am now. And if I were to go back and change something, it'll land me somewhere completely different, which is not a good or a bad thing. You know, it depends. I just feel like where I am in life now is just absolutely incredible. I'm here because of all of the mistakes, everything that I have learned, not just only mistakes along the way, has really led me to, where I am now. So, quick break. Let's take a break from talking about that. The key to a juicy fried rice is the rice. I use Thai hum Jasmine rice, and what I would suggest is if you use 1 cup of rice, use 1 cup of water and steam that on really low heat, because you want the rice to be fluffy. If you're not careful, the rice may end up too soft or too hard. And the whole point of this food is the rice. If the rice is good, everything is good. So I got some Thai chili peppers, and I got a few ginger, and I just beat that up in my mortar or pestle. And when I was done, that gave me a little fine paste. For this to be easier, I would suggest cutting them up into smaller pieces, because it took me a little while to get it into a fine paste. And then when that was done, I added my vegetables in the same oil that the chicken fried in to get the flavors from the chicken and all of that, and just cook that up really good. Me personally, I like for my vegetables to be a little on the crunchy side. I don't like it too soft, but you can cook it the way you like it. And once that cooked up, I added my blended chili pepper and garlic. I just gave that a really good mix. So This is like I would say I would stop here and then start adding the rice. So once that cook up and saute for a little bit, you're going to go in and add your eggs. I used 2 eggs for the batch that I was using, but you can always use more if you're like on a high protein diet or you need more. And as I was cracking them, the skin, the shells got in there, but we're just going to pretend that you didn't see that. So I was just like, now I had to get the shells out of there, but I got it there. No big deal. I know someone's going to notice. So I just thought I should point that out. I gave that a good mix, and when I was done, I added some purple onions. I diced it up really, really finely and added in there. At some point, I did add a little bit of oil because it just wasn't enough. It wasn't too much, and then I added my rice, and then it was game time. When I added the rice, you can use soy sauce, oyster sauce, salt, black pepper, whatever it is that you like or prefer. Add that in there. I added a little bit of browning sauce just to give it a little bit of color. Not too much though, because I already had color from the chicken earlier. Give that a good mix, and you can see the colors are coming together. Oh my God, this fried rice was absolutely incredible. And then I added in my jerk chicken, and then my what's that thing called? A little bit of bell peppers and scallions, because I do want it to give it that look. And then I mixed everything up together, and it was just incredible. This fried rice, I gave some to my neighbor, was incredible. I didn't have coconut milk. If I had coconut milk, this would have taken it to a different level. And then the key ingredient is the basil. I added the basil at the end because you don't want to overcook it. Once you added the basil in, I went in with the little secret spices to make mine a little unique. And then it was done. At this point, the cooking was done. I was just adding some finishing touches. Something I did different was I got this charcoal, right? How you do it is you take it out, you burn it on the stove. As it starts to burn, you're then gonna get an aluminum foil, add it in there, add oil to activate it. So here you see it in aluminum foil, but ideally you want to put it on the actual fire so it can burn directly. And then I made a little well. So here's what it look like. Here's what it looks like when it was done, right? Now I'm just going to make a little well, add aluminum foil on top, add the charcoal in there, add a little bit of oil, and then it'll start smoking. That smoke gave this fried rice an incredible flavor that I could not have achieved without it. The cast iron did pretty well. I'm using large cast iron. The cast iron did really good, but the smoke took it to a different level. I think it made this rice incredibly tasty, incredibly smoking. This is the rice you make if you want to impress somebody, right? And then this was a little secret ingredient. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's my little secret. And then I explained this earlier, and then this is what it looked like. And at this point, it was done. Once I added the smoke and added the oil, I just covered it maybe for a few minutes until the smoke kind of vanished. And that was it. There was no leftovers remaining. That's how you know when something's good, when there's no leftover. And this is going to be my children's lunch for daycare. Every time I take food to them, the teachers are always like, oh my God, whenever your kids bring their lunch, this whole place smells incredible. But that is the final result. I hope you give this a try. Everything is going to be listed in the description below. Please give this video some love, and until our next recipe.